The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
This your boy Atlantic City, back with another episode of A Look At, and this time we're taking a look at the death of Jeff Stacey. Now before we do that, your boy is followable on Twitter, Atlantic_City. Perhaps Twitter's not your style, huh? I'm on Instagram too. Catch a lot more of your boy on Lantic City at LanticCityLC. If you'd like to donate to the channel, as low as $1, every donor gains early access to a video of their choosing, whether it's Interrogation of a Predator, A Look At, or whatever show I got going on at the time. Interrogation of a Predator, all new episodes Sunday. A Look At, all new episodes on Tuesdays. ORRESTED returns Wednesday, March 16th. Alright, now let's dive on into it. Shout out to Joey. If you ain't subscribed to Joey, go subscribe to Joey. Joey's TCAP channel. So we're going to take a peek at this video right quick before we discuss Jeff's death.
Last month there was a rumor going around that Jeff Stacey from the Ohio To Catch a Predator sting had passed away. There was a mention on Been Verified that a Jeff Stacey had died. But there's a lot of Jeff Staceys in Ohio, so that wasn't really proof. I think Stacey Babst, a guy named Stacey Babst, had found this information and shared it. And there's been a lot of rumors of predators passing away that weren't true. And we all kind of assumed that this was another one. It was a mistake on Been Verified part, and they make mistakes all the time. So we concluded that he was probably still alive. However, Skip Tracer, who's on YouTube, and I'll link his channel here, did an FOIA request to the Warren County, Ohio coroner for Jeff Stacey's death, and a couple days later they responded with a coroner's report on Jeff Stacey, and he indeed passed away. The autopsy was on February 22nd of this year, so he maybe died on the 21st of 2021. In the autopsy report, it lists morphine, diazepam.
So it's already been a year since his passing. Rest in peace, Jeff. Wherever you are.
And alprazolam intoxication as the cause of death, with obesity and cardiovascular disease being contributing factors. Jeff was 5'7" and listed at 262 pounds. He had a history of sleep apnea. He also had cardiomegaly, which is an enlarged heart, and he...
Well, apparently he was cute, but he was not built good. Not built good at all.
He had 50% stenosis of his left anterior descending coronary artery, so that was 50% clogged with plaque. So he had clogged arteries, he had an enlarged heart, he had sleep apnea, and he was taking Xanax, probably for anxiety, and he was also on morphine. Why he was on morphine, we don't know yet. If he was prescribed morphine for recent surgery or maybe back pain or something like that, I don't know. But as of February of 2021, Jeff Stacey has passed away. R.I.P. Jeff.
A moment of silence for Jeff Stacey, please. Silence is over. Okay, well, we're going to take it back to Joey. Was Jeff Stacey murdered?
Joey's TCAP.
Jeff Stacey went from being a goofy deli worker with an abundance of keys and druggy friends to one of the world's most famous sex offenders after he appeared on Dateline NBC's To Catch a Predator in April of 2006. After a year in prison and another 10 years on the sex offender registry, he met a woman named Leanne Cundiff Shaw on a dating website. The two fell in love and would eventually marry in June of 2018. When news of Jeff's wedding broke almost 3 years ago, the most common reaction was, What kind of woman would marry Jeff Stacey?
Bro. You married someone that was on To Catch a Predator.
Potentially a murderer. Now see, I'm not trying to just use Joey's video. I'm going to get to my own shit. But I wanted to go over his death. Joey did it perfectly. And was Jeff murdered? Joey did it perfectly. So what do you think? Comment, stream, chat. Do you think Jeff Stacey was murdered? Or do you think he died of natural causes? I say it's 50-50 because he was pumping a lot of shit in his system. He did have sleep apnea.
What is wrong with you?
When I was given the name of his missus, I looked at, I checked
Is
her out
that you,
on
Andrew
Facebook.
Burkett? Shout out to
I saw
Andrew Burkett.
the pictures for the first time looking at her Facebook page, and my immediate reaction when I saw the wedding photos and stuff was I laughed my head off. I mean, I just found it hilarious that this guy was in these wedding photos. It was such a surreal thing, and it was like this laughter lasted ages.
Jeff Stacey, it's a question, is married. Can you imagine how he proposed to her? Will you marry me? Do you do anal? Wait, you're not a cop, are you? Oh my God, hey.
I'm sorry, guy. You're not funny.
Whatever, man. Jeff Stacey is married. I cannot believe it. I can't believe that woman.
Defender with a high-pitched voice. The talk regarding Jeff Stacey turned dark this summer as rumors of his death circulated. In August, the skip tracer obtained and released Jeff's autopsy results, which stated he died in February of a massive morphine overdose.
So was he fed the drugs by his wife? Allegedly? Or, did he do it on purpose? That is the question. What do you think? Do you think he overdosed? Do you think, his wife set him up and poured too many and, fucked him over?
At the time of his death, Jeff and Leanne were listed as tenants in an apartment in the Colony Woods complex in Lebanon, Ohio.
Lebanon?
Leanne was employed by a rehabilitation center in Dayton, Ohio, as a registered drug addiction counselor. This summer, collection agencies gained judgments against the late Mr. Stacey, and certified letters of these judgments were being sent to his apartment. Why were they not told that Jeff had died, and why was there no obituary? Leanne had stopped paying the rent, and since Ohio is one of the few states without COVID-19 related eviction moratoriums, Colony Woods obtained a court order to evict her on July 16th. A court officer tapes the eviction notice to her door on July 21st, requiring her to vacate the apartment within 10 days.
Well,
3 days later, on July 24th, Leanne lit her apartment on fire. Then she broke into her neighbor's apartment and stole prescription drugs. Both apartments were destroyed, and although the neighbors weren't home at the time of the fire, their pets were. The pets were reported to have survived, however.
Good.
On July 26th, Leanne is arrested and she's charged with first-degree arson, second-degree arson, third-degree burglary, fourth-degree theft of drugs, all felonies, as well as...
Now see, with that type of rap sheet, that makes you question whether or not this bitch murdered Jeff or not. Allegedly. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me if the bitch murdered Jeff.
Misdemeanor trespass. She faces up to 20 years in prison. On August 2nd, she pled not guilty by reason of insanity. Her pretrial begins on September 22nd. Leanne has shown complete disregard for human life by burning down an apartment complex that may have been occupied at the time by other tenants, and seems to be a drug abuser masquerading as a drug counselor. Did she obtain or even administer the lethal morphine dose to her husband Jeff? Stay tuned.
The death of Jeff Stacey. It's a mystery surrounding the TCAP community. Was he murdered by his ex-wife, allegedly? Or did he die by his own accord? What do you think, chat, stream, comments? Do you think his ex-wife murdered him? His wife murdered him, whatever the fuck she was? Or do you think Jeff went out on his own terms? Now I want you to think about something. In the interrogation footage, Jeff's first instinct to something bad happening to him was, I'm just gonna put a bullet in my head. No, I'm just gonna slip my wrist. No, I'm just gonna slit my throat. Oh, fucking kill me. Just wanna die. Something bad happens and he immediately reverts to, I'm just gonna put a bullet in my head, so. Would that apply to Jeff all these years later? All these years later, would Jeff apply these same, we'll call them tantrums, suicidal tantrums? Except now, it's not, oh, I'm going to put a bullet in my head. I'm going to slit my throat. It's, oh, I'm just going to take all my morphine all at once. Do you think, based on Jeff's previous behavior in his interrogation footage, that it's safe to say that Jeff would have took his own life? I think the proof is in that interrogation footage. Now say something went bad. His ex-wife, wife, whatever, pissed him off. He kills himself. Say he lost his job, he kills himself. Something sets him off, he kills himself. Why would I come to such conclusion? Based on previous behavior. He gets locked up in the interrogation room and his immediate response is to kill himself. That he wants to die, that he wants to kill himself, that his life is over. But would he have still felt the same way all these years later? Now, if you're one to say that the ex-wife, the wife, whatever, killed him, you know, I would completely believe you too, because, you know, well, not believe you, but I could see where you're coming from, because I personally believe that I think he overdosed. I think he did himself in. That's just my personal belief. Based on his previous behavior, I think that's what it occurred. I think he downed those morphine, and I think he checked out. I think something happened that pissed him off, and he just he said fuck it. He was done. He checked out. But for those that think that the ex-wife did it, or his wife did it, or whatever the fuck she was at the time of his death, I can see where you're coming from, because that bitch was bonkos. So I could definitely believe she had a hand in his demise. I could definitely see her overdosing Jeff. But what motive does she have for murdering Jeff? I mean, I'm sure Jeff pisses people off. I'm sure Jeff pissed her off. I'm sure I'd want to kill Jeff if I knew him in real life. I'm sure she probably wanted to kill Jeff. But what motive did she really have to kill Jeff, if you really think about it? Was Jeff business owner? Did he have a lot of money? Did he have a big life insurance policy that I'm unaware of? What's the motive to kill Jeff Stacey in her eyes? Does she even have a motive? Chat stream. For those of you that think that she did it, there went the lighter. What do you think her motive was? I'll give you a second. What do you think her motive was? I'll tell you mine. I don't think she had a motive. Other than maybe rage. Getting pissed off at Jeff pissing her off, and she just fucking wanting to kill him and get rid of him. But I don't see an actual motive. But based on Jeff's previous behavior, I could say that suicide was probably not out of the realm of possibility as far as Jeff Stacey goes. Jeff Stacey, let's go to his memorial page right quick. Look at him. He's cute, but he's not built good. Born March 8th, 1979. What an appropriate day to make a video about the death of Jeff Stacey. What an appropriate day to make a video about the death of Jeff Stacey than his birthday. He died February 22nd, 2021. In Lebanon, Warren County, Ohio, USA. He's buried in Deerfield Cemetery, South Lebanon, Warren County, Ohio. Memorial ID 230537299. Can't imagine why you would want those numbers, but I gave them to you anyway. So that's where I think I stand on the death of Jeff Stacey. I think he probably did himself in. I think he overdosed on his own. But I won't completely rule out that his wife had something to do with it, because that bitch was bonkos. The bitch was bonkos. So I could definitely see people thinking that she murdered him. So which side do you fall on? Do you think Jeff got murdered by his ex-wife allegedly? Or do you think he overdosed himself? I fall in the overdosed himself side of things. And that's based on his previous behavior in his interrogation. When bad things happen, his immediate response was, I'm going to put a bullet in my head. I'm going to slit my wrist. If something bad were happening in Jeff's life all these years later, would he react the same way? I think he might, and I think he just might have. Or, what if it was just accidental? Did we ever stop to think about that? People OD all the time. Not just because Jeff had a bonko's ex-wife doesn't mean he couldn't have accidentally OD'd. Just because he had a shitty life that he probably wanted to get away from doesn't mean he didn't accidentally OD. Right? It clearly, Jeff wasn't in the best of health. He clearly wasn't the healthiest person alive. So, you know, with that amount of medicine thrown in, no telling what else he was taking. I mean, that he was prescribed, you know, for medical ailments and such. But could it have been accidental? Could he have just taken too much? Either way, we know how Jeff Stacey died. We know he OD'd. We just don't exactly know how. Was his OD done with nefarious intentions from his ex-wife or wife or whatever the fuck the bitch is? 1456732 at whatever county jail now. That's what she goes by. Don't worry, we're going to get into her real soon. Get into her. Pause. I ain't going nowhere Jeff has been. If he even got in there. But anyway. You know, was his OD done with nefarious intentions from his ex-wife? I don't know. Did he commit that? Did Jeff commit that? Or was Jeff perfectly fine and just took too much and died? What do you think? Chat, stream, comments. Do you think Jeff really hated his life so much he was like, fuck it? Wait. He was more like, fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna down them all. So he downed them all. Or did Jeff have a great day that day? Maybe one of the best days of his life. Well, probably not if he was taking that. Well, maybe so if he was taking that many pain pills. I don't know. But he could have been perfectly fine. He might not have even been depressed that day. It could have been an accidental OD. He might have just took too much and died. And that's something that I haven't seen that many people really say. It's either he killed himself, or the ex-wife, wife, whatever the fuck, 012676643 county inmate killed him. I don't really ever see anyone say, oh yeah, he probably just accidentally OD'd. Now, I don't know if that's what happened. Now, I'm not saying that's happened. It's all speculation here, but it's a possibility. It is certainly possible that Jeff just accidentally took too much. So which do you find more plausible? That Jeff killed himself? His ex-wife, wife killed him? Or do you think he just took too much? Honestly, I think Jeff probably hated his life. He might have just committed that. But he could have accidentally just overdosed, or his wife, ex-wife, county inmate 067345512 could be the killer. Which way do you think it happened? Chat, stream, comments. Let your boy know. I know what I thought. I told you. Now it's not your turn to tell me. Heading on over to the Temple of TCAP. Shout out to the Temple of TCAP. I'm going to do another look at Temple of TCAP video in the future. So stay tuned for that. But for now, we're trying to find out about Leanne Stacey. According to this, she is currently in custody with a $250,000 bond. I bet when Jeff made his move on her for the first time, he took out one of his keys and said, "I got the keys to your heart. Will you let me open the door?" Damn. I can't steal her identity. This whole video is pointless. Updated March 8th, 2022. Damn, you updated that much? I mean, that cannot be no coincidence. I guarantee it said yesterday's date. Yesterday. So, Leanne Stacey. Aggravated arson. The first degree. Second degree. Third degree burglar charge. Trespassing charge. Jeff sure hit the jackpot with this one. You know how women love guys in jail? Maybe I should write Leanne Stacey a letter. I should write her a letter. I got your letter. Alright, Leanne Stacey. So, yeah, I mean, just because she trespassed, just because she burglarized, just because she set her old apartment complex on fire, or her old house because she, old apartment because she was about to get kicked out, doesn't exactly make her a killer, but it does show how unhinged the bitch is. So I don't think murder's completely out of the realm of possibility when it comes to her. So she could have did it. For those that think she did it, I get it. I see where you're coming from. The death of Jeff Stacey. I think that's all I can say about that. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, we know how Jeff died. He OD'd. But was his ex-wife, whatever, did she do it? Do you think she did it? Chat, stream, comments, let me know. Do you think she did it? Do you think Jeff committed that purposefully? He did it on purpose. Or do you think it was just an accidental OD? Because as far as I'm seeing, that's the only three possibilities there is. And I'm sure there's somebody out there that'll come up with an outlandish theory like, well, somebody broke into his house, man, and they forced him they saw him on the show and they hated him, and they said, hey, you're Jeff Stacey, and you're going to take all these morphine in front of me right now, and I'm going to duct tape your mouth closed so you can swallow them all, and then I'm going to sit here and watch you die. Ha ha ha. No. But there's always some conspiracy fuck that'll go throw some shit that's got nothing to do with nothing. They'll throw that shit in there. You know, there's always that one person that's got to go way out there, way for the reason that Jeff overdosed. But as far as I'm seeing, there's only three ways. His wife spiked his drinks or whatever, pulled a Bill Cosby on him. But with murderous intentions instead of other intentions. He accidentally overdosed, or he overdosed on purpose because he hated his life. Now, like I said earlier in the video, we saw in the TCAP footage when things weren't going right. I'm just going to put a bullet in my head. I'm just going to slit my wrist. I'm just going to slit my throat. He immediately, when something bad happened, he immediately switched to suicide. Killing himself, harming himself, self-harm. Stupid bastard. Thought he could kill himself with a pen. Oh, man. He really... I think we all know that Jeff didn't actually believe that he was going to take himself out with that pen. It was just it was all for show. Not for us, but for the cops. But I do think Jeff has suicidal tendencies, and if it ever comes out that he did, or I mean, if it had ever, excuse me, motherfucker, if it had come out that he had committed that, instead of it being an overdose, but it's like Jeff Stacey found hanging in his own closet, I wouldn't be shocked. But I think that about wraps it up. I think I'm stretching it here. The death of Jeff Stacey. This has been your boy Lantic City. Hope to catch you next time. This has been a look at. Another look at next Tuesday. ORRESTED returns Wednesday, March 16th. You already know Interrogation of a Predator Sundays. Follow me on follow me on Twitter at Lantic_City. If you'd like to see more of your boy, follow me on Instagram at LanticCityLC. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, as low as $1, you can gain early access to a video of your choosing, whether it's the next episode of A Look At, the next episode of Interrogation of a Predator, or the next episode of Interrogation of a Predator, ORRESTED, or whatever other show I got going on at the time. I'm gone.